Hello, teachers! I'm Lynn Kleiner, and with me today is the remarkable Coach Ann. We're here for Music Rhapsody to give you some tips on optimum vocal health. So first I want to introduce our amazing Coach Ann. Really, I have asked her here to talk about vocal health because her schedule is full-time every day in the schools during the week. When she gets out of the schools, she continues in the afternoon with small group teaching and private lessons. And in the evenings, she's doing consulting for Music Rhapsody, giving tours of the membership area, the curriculum, showing teachers their way around, our resources. And then she is coaching all the teachers who are doing the online teaching, the virtual workshops, as well as our coming to our live trainings. So that seems like a crazy amount, but then she also is in performing groups, and so you can see her performing around the Los Angeles area as well. So quite an amazing schedule, and all of it involves the voice. So it's really a wonder to me, Coach Ann, how you do it all and how you do it so spectacularly that I often say, oh, could you sing that song for me, Coach Ann? Just sing that for me. So I would just love it if you would share after, we have been working together for like a decade.
I know.
And so I would just love for you to share with us, we're kind of coming off of concert season here, the end of our school year, and it would be great if going into the new school year, we could really plan for some great vocal health going forward. So can you just share those with us?
Of course. So when it comes to vocal health, it's really in developing really good habits. These are not things that you're going to, all of a sudden I can sing an aria, not all of a sudden. But, you can implement some really, really good habits. And there are some things that you can start doing that'll help you right away. So I want to get into some of those. So the first thing, plan like your last class of the day is going to be your most vocally taxing. Basically, save up. You can use some classroom management skills like mirroring, or different signals where you don't have to use your voice. Like all of a sudden your children enter the room and you're going, have them follow you in that type of way. You don't always have to be using your voice to grab their attention. Plan on little times throughout your lesson where you can be vocally chill, okay? Very, very important, right? And in our online training and in in Music Rhapsody materials, you'll see us using different signals, like our sopranino recorder. So wonderful to create active listening and a moment for yourself where you're just playing your sopranino and the children are listening and they can hear when to stop playing. Very, very great. Not just with their instruments, but also with movement and everything. The tick-tock block, giving them moments to walk around. You're also saving your voice. The finger symbols, all of these great symbols when you are teaching, so you're saving your voice. And also there's, oh my goodness, and also sign language, oh my goodness, sit, stand, and using your face to really give them direction, like, they love it, oh my goodness. There's also puppets, oh my goodness, and Lynn, puppet, you are so good at all of those. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, instead of using my voice, things are escalating in the class, knocking on the cabinet, and then having the puppet friend tell me what's going on, and then I whisper, so that automatically, especially with young children, oh my goodness, I mean, I don't know what would happen if I tried that with my 5th graders, but
I think they'd still respond the same way. Oh, yeah.
But they tell me, and then I whisper, what happened? You're worried about what? Everybody wants to know, like, what did he say? What did you say? They're trying to listen. So yeah, they're helpful with classroom management.
Definitely.
They always have great ideas too.
Oh, they do.
How to solve the problem.
The best ideas. Yeah, so that's a really, really great first thing, just to plan for vocal rest. Okay? A second thing that you can do is utilize recordings. Now, this is really, really great if you're a music teacher and you're using recordings already in your classroom. I use them all the time if I'm feeling a little bit taxed. I'll go ahead and play the recording of the activity that I was going to do. I can mouth the words, but again, I'm planning for that vocal rest. And that's especially great, like in our Music Rhapsody membership, we do give you all the recordings also for all the songs that are in the lesson. So you can go ahead and use those. Those are already planned in there. But I use the recordings all the time. It's really, really great. The third thing that you can start doing right away, but it definitely, you'll see better results the more you do it, the more you're consistent with it, is vocal warm-ups and like breathing exercises, right? And there's tons of vocal warm-ups, breathing exercises that you can just go ahead and find online. There are a lot of videos about this, but there are 3 that I really, really do love. And if I had to pick some exercises to do like on my commute, you know, I've got 10 minutes, I'm just going to warm up my voice, you know, really, it's essential because we're athletes here, right? We're using our muscles. And I think we forget that sometimes as teachers, but we need to stretch our vocal folds. We need to kind of engage our core to use it properly. So one really great exercise, super easy, you could do it while you're driving, is if you do like 4 beats of a s and then shh, and you can do this for like 30 seconds to a minute. Just drive in there, you can go s, shh,
Take a breath in between.
in between, shh. Exactly. You can kind of stretch it out 30 seconds to a minute. That's really, really great. And yes, there's a breath in between. S, shh. Exactly. The next one that I love is basically taking that same thing, but you're adding smaller subdivisions. So you're engaging your core a little bit more. So basically you can follow this simple rhythm of s, s, sh, 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 sh. Exactly. Again, taking a breath in between the s or sh, but trying to maintain that one breath for s, sh, sh. Exactly. After a while, you're going to start to feel it. Oh my goodness. And then if you want to bump up the challenge, because we all want to do that, you can subdivide it even more. And oh man, even though I've been using my voice for years and everything, like that will tire you out, but in a good way. It's really, really great. And again, that just gets your core all ready so that you're maintaining the it down here instead of having everything all the time up here. We don't want any tension up here, preferably, you know, when we're using our voice.
Attention here.
Attention down here. Hold that beach ball. It's really, really effective. So that's something that is going to be great if you're going to maintain it. Try to do it every day, 5 minutes on your commute. It really, really helps.
Makes the drive go easier too, doesn't it?
It does. It's a little bit more fun.
It's like you're actually accomplishing something really great.
Yeah, and you can really see the results. Like, oh my goodness, it's going to be a lifesaver. You just got to give it that chance.
I'm excited about my commute.
Yay! Awesome. All right. So then I do want to mention one thing that can kind of help you in a pinch is this straw exercise. Now this is another thing, like if you just go ahead and type in straw vocal exercise online, you'll have dozens of videos that'll tell you how to do it and exercises that you can do with a straw. But basically what a straw does is it's a quick way of engaging your core, and it stretches your vocal folds, and we'll talk a little bit about the actual basics of that in a second. But it's a way of just going ahead and getting your vocal placement and your vocal folds and your engagement right where you need it. And if you don't have a straw, you can use kind of like a closed like
come down to.
You can go up, there's so many different exercises that you can do, but that immediately alleviates a lot of tension in your throat, and it kind of brings up the resonating in your nasal cavity and engages your core. It's a great quick fix.
So with the straw, how is that?
With the straw, when you have the straw, it's creating that back pressure, so it's a little bit more resistance, right? And you can have like a bigger straw and just kind of fold it a little bit to create even more resistance.
And then you're doing, or you're still doing in the straw?
Yeah, you're kind of singing through the straw.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Basically your vocal folds are the first place of resistance, of pressure, and then you're adding a second layer, and it's gonna stretch your vocal folds again, so important. And just go ahead and you can do a glide up and a glide down. Again, we're just going over real basics, but if you go ahead and just look up straw exercise or straw vocal exercise, it'll give you a much more in-depth explanation, but it's really, really great. I love it, for sure. Yeah. So
I have to know, do you have a straw
Yes.
in your car then?
I do have a straw in my car.
Okay.
And oh my goodness, they even sell metal straws for vocalizing through. They go on a necklace. Like, it's a real thing. It's a real deal. So you can go ahead and look that up, or go to 7-Eleven. That works too. Yeah, but it's really, really great.
Wow,
For sure.
I gotta get one.
Yeah. So then, I do want to talk about using our voice in the upper register when we're speaking. If you've been listening, I haven't really engaged my Miss Piggy voice as much right now. And you don't have to sound like this all the time, especially if you're talking with your college students or your high school or your middle school. But speaking in our upper voice is really, really important. You can think of our vocal folds as like strings on an instrument, right? The thicker the string, the lower the pitch that it'll produce. That's what happens with our vocal folds. And they're very flexible. They're like a rubber band. So when we use our lower voice, our vocal folds are thicker and they're going to vibrate a little bit slower. That's how that works. And our vocal folds, like the way that we produce sound, is that they vibrate, they touch a little bit when we make sound. And when we're using our lower voice, they're thick. When we are using our higher voice, we are stretching them. We are making them a little bit thinner and they vibrate a little bit faster. So it's just, you can think about it just creating that good habit of, I'm going to keep my vocal folds flexible. I'm maintaining their flexibility. So I'm not going to all of a sudden, if I'm using my vocal, if I'm speaking all the time down here, and then I have to sing something up high, I'm not going to make it sound, like I haven't prepared, or I could cause some damage. We don't want to cause actual damage in our vocal folds. So maintaining that upper register when we are speaking is just going to create a really, really good habit for us.
Does this mean it's actually healthier for your voice to either speak in that higher register or give directions? Now let's make a circle.
Yeah.
Let's make a circle. Let's make a circle. It's healthier to do that than to try to get the authority out there.
Oh, exactly.
So singing would also, because normally with their children, we want to sing higher because that's their natural range anyway.
Exactly.
So that might be healthier too.
Yeah.
Sing the directions.
Oh,
Or
exactly.
speaking in a higher.
Singing the directions, keeping that higher register going. And we've all had, a day of teaching where we're talking down here, and then at the end of the day, we're like, oh no, I feel so bad. we have to maintain that upper register, and it really is helpful. It does create a more musical environment for our teaching, and we talk about that all the time. You talk about that all the time. We want to have, our music class to be always musical, and giving those directions in that more sing-songy higher voice, or singing them. Let's all sit on the carpet. Really, really great. Let's all sit on the carpet. I didn't want to stop it too soon. We had that groove going. But yeah, it's really, really important. So, and I also know, and we've talked about this before, that, how we use our voice is very much a product of where we grow up and everything. Like, Lynn has talked about at her trainings how you can tell when a baby is from Brooklyn versus a baby who's from Georgia, right? That's always a part of how we were brought up. So some of you watching, you might feel like, oh, this is kind of coming more naturally to me, and some watching may think like, oh, this is not what I'm used to. But our vocal folds, like I said, how we're built, they're built like that rubber band, and we do want to maintain that upper register, and it might take a little bit more practice, but with vocal exercises like on your way to work, or whenever you have time, finding times for vocal rest, all these things that you can do to kind of plan into your teaching day are really, really going to help, for sure.
That is so helpful, because planning, we put so much time in our lesson plans, and even if you're following the lesson plans that we've done already for you, you still have so much preparation. And then we try to plan, like with the children, well, what to look forward to next week, what to look forward to next month or next school year, or whatever. But we don't have in that plan, those kinds of tips, like plan your rest during your lunch break, plan, don't make those calls.
Right.
Text instead so you can get your rest, or even Sunday rest day where you're not going to talk as much, or instead of shouting that you're home to your family, you could go
exactly. Well, yeah,
all those little rest things that you deliberately do need to plan,
and like, if you don't plan it ahead of time, you are going to run into some issues, and maybe you're watching this because you have run into issues already, or maybe you're a new teacher, you're just starting, you're like, I'm going to be having a full schedule, I want to make sure that I have my best foot forward for this. So planning is really, really great. If you already have some habits implemented, where, like right after your class you make a phone call, or you stick around and you talk to a teacher for a while, like, maybe just remove one of those things. This doesn't have to be a night and day switch. Just take your time, find what works for you, but definitely have a little bit of vocal warm up in the morning. Really great. And then I do want to get to our last little tip. We've gone through 4 so far. Number 5, hydrate.
Water.
Please hydrate. And I'm not going to say don't drink coffee, because we're teachers. Come on now. But
oh, good.
Exactly. But have a bottle of water along with your coffee. That's what I do every morning. It's really, really going to help maintain your vocal fold health, because there's a lot of, moisture in there. And if you're able to maintain that, that's really, really going to help. And I've sung dehydrated, I've oversung, and I've really hit into problems. So just kind of plan ahead, again, with your water. But
fill it in the morning before you leave, the jumbo one.
Yeah,
so ahead. That you know that if you didn't go through that in a full day, especially, you probably have to have 2 of those with your schedule.
Exactly.
If you still have not emptied it at the end of the day, you haven't gotten enough water. So if you do that in the morning, again, you have to plan, but take it with you so you know that, okay, when that's gone, at least, I've done a day of hydrating.
Exactly.
And we have both actually gone through vocal issues.
Yes.
My first 3 years were with high schoolers for half a day, where I just totally wasn't prepared for vocal warm-up health. I just didn't have that. I knew the teaching and the behavior management and all of that kind of stuff we got and with student teaching, but never all these tips. And
Right.
surprise, surprise, after trying to be so authoritative, when you're 5 foot tall, you try to get a big low voice, and I can imagine that really, the strain of that.
Yeah.
And then my schedule was, the after school show choirs and, ensembles and private lessons, as well as teaching the elementary 5 mornings a week. So it was a lot, and a lot on the weekends. So I think, if we have a little more preparation, I hope we're reaching some new teachers.
Yeah.
Because they won't have to go through the struggles that we had to get educated
Exactly.
on all of these things.
No, I had a vocal hemorrhage where I couldn't speak for months. It was such a hard lesson to learn, and I thought that I was like over vocally, but I had to go to speech therapy every week, vocal therapy, and I learned so much. And this is part of of the things that I've been telling you today is stuff that I learned from my speech therapist, like speaking in that upper register, really getting the stretch going, warming up. We are athletes here. We can't be expected to run a marathon without stretching first. Like, this is just stuff that goes across the board in all parts of our lives, and this is no exception.
Yeah. My speech therapist actually had a monitor, because I really needed to work hard to get into an upper voice, and if it went down below a certain line when I was speaking, then I got a little, points off or something. I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but but that was very, very helpful too. But unfortunately, that was having to learn that after vocal nodules surgery, a long recovery. So I hope this is helpful to everyone. And it's good reminders.
I know.
For each other.
I was like, I'm going to do my warm-ups today. I have to talk about it later. Yeah, but we wish all the best for everybody. Really take care of your voice. It's so important, and it makes teaching so much more fun for us.
Yes, and we will send out to you our little tips too, so you can have those with you in the morning, so you do some great planning for your vocal health. All right?
All right.
Happy music making, everyone.
Yay, take care.